Hi everybody. I just wanted to do another quick video and talking about more particularly muscle memory and how to build muscle memory more effectively. So these are thoughts that I've had for a while. This is Tim Rower from Rower Music Studios. We've talked before about making sure you've got a good posture, making sure you've got a good instrument, and then making sure that you build in technique. And with using good technique and building these techniques, I think of the importance of muscle memory in particular. The hope and long term goal as you are building muscle memory is that you don't have to think about the basic things that you do on a regular basis, that they happen, and that it's not something you're pouring a lot of mental energy into. So with this, I'm probably going to keep this discussion a little bit short. I want to do a later video about the different elements of muscle memory, what I call the three keys to muscle memory. Before that, any muscle memory, building muscle memory, really is about mental energy. And if you are not spending mental energy, that what you end up getting is something that's not important enough to the brain, that it wants to put it into muscle memory. So I like to think that we build muscle memory by spending the currents of mental energy. For me, there are three different elements, three different keys to building muscle memory. All of these have to do with that mental energy you spend. The first key is time. If you are not spending time on a particular thing, it's not going to be important to your brain. It's not going to be something that you've spent enough of that energy on that it's going to think of it as important. And so the first key is make sure that you've spent time doing the thing that you want to have as a muscle memory task. The second key is consistency. If you don't do it the way that you're hoping to do it pretty consistently, then what's going to happen is, again, your brain doesn't think, oh, this is important to do it this way. What I like about thinking about the consistency is most of the time we can do something to raise our consistency rate. We can say, well, my goal right now is this specific element, and I want that specific element in my muscle memory. Then what I will do is I will take these other elements that are not my primary goal right at the moment, and I will sacrifice those elements to make sure I hit my primary goal for that particular muscle memory. So a lot of that then ends up being a sacrifice. What can I sacrifice of what all of the stuff that I'm doing to gain consistency, a higher consistency rate? I like to think of consistency that the ideal is you have to at least meet a 50%. If you're not doing it half of the time right, you're doing it more of the time wrong and actually getting better at doing it wrong. So in this case, 50% is a bare minimum, and then the ideal I would say is somewhere closer to 70, obviously 80, 90, and then doing it 100% of the time is our long-term goal for that. The third key to muscle memory is focus. And with focus, it's about how uh, how much you're thinking about it once. If you've got lots of different elements you're trying to think about at once, that's so much information that you're trying to take in that often we can't hit a high consistency, and that ends up making it difficult to hit that particular thing. So there's that side of it that is related to consistency, but there's also the side of just what is my level of mental energy that I'm giving this particular thing. How much am I really looking at the specific thing? As an example for this, the the skill of shifting on a string instrument, if I am not spending um, time with the feeling of how, how I'm moving my hand up the neck of the instrument, what it feels like to have the to have my hand in the right place, to move into that position, then I'm not really gaining that particular, that feel, so that I can come back to it. And in another video, I want to talk also about mental mapping, about creating a map of the piece, as well as a map of where I need to be within the piece, where I need to be on my instrument, and so forth. Because mental maps are a really crucial part of practicing. The so that final element, focus, combining all these together, I want to talk about what you can do then in using these 3 keys to muscle memory. So let's say that you are practicing a section and is not getting as good as you'd like it to be. The first thing that you can say is, well, am I spending time practicing this? If you are spending time practicing it, then you've hit that first mark. Yes, I've got time behind me. If you've only been practicing it for a day and you're not there yet, you can say, well, of course I'm not going to get it yet, because to build muscle memory, I need a certain length of time having spent on this particular thing. So the next thing you can think about is, well, what is my consistency rate like? Am I hitting this particular thing more often than not? And if the answer to that is no, then there's some way to change up your practice, some way to think differently about how you're doing it that will help you gain a higher consistency. Let's say that you're fairly high in consistency, you've spent some time with it, and but it still feels like it's not maybe as fast as you want it or where you'd like it to be. You might think of, what is my current focus right now? What am I thinking about? And that you might change what you're thinking about. If it's speed, you might think, okay, I'm trying to gain speed for this. Yes, I've spent time with it. Yes, I have the notes, but I can't get them at speed. You might then actually spend a little bit of time with pushing the speed close to a speed that you feel like is going to be appropriate for that piece. And what I find really beneficial is when you push that speed like that, you notice things you don't when you're playing at a slower speed. And you'll start to see, oh, I need to adjust my bow a little different. I need to move my fingers differently. So that's the main gist of what I wanted to talk about with this. I also wanted to talk about some problem solving skills and creating a practice process, something that helps you consistently come back to how you're practicing and refine it and get better and better. And that's all that I've got for this video. Let me know if there's things you'd like to talk about, specific ways of practicing or other things, and I will see you in the next video.